stumbled across something that is a little conspiracy theory-esque. That might be overstating it just a little bit. Number one, shout out to Ari for reminding me this website exists. Ari runs my social media channel, and she's amazing. And she's pulling some little snippets from Statista. And I was just poking around, and I think this is really interesting. Digital advertising spending worldwide, okay? The digital advertising spending worldwide amounted to $522 billion in 2021. Keep that number in your head, $522 billion. In 22, it was $808 billion. This represented an increase from $759 billion in the previous year. So advertisers spent $522 billion. Advertising media companies made $759 billion. So there's $230 billion that these advertising media companies are making that's not reflected in ad spend. And so, first I think, well, should those things be pari passu? Because it's almost like a balance sheet. One would equal the other. But then I start to think, well, the advertising media company revenue isn't necessarily tied just to ads. The same way Amazon makes the majority of its net profit off of Amazon Web Services, which has nothing to do with e-com. But that means there's $230 billion not unaccounted for, but accounted for in revenue channels that aren't ad spend. And I would have to assume the largest revenue channel there is data. And this is where I want somebody to spot check me on. So, like, if you know more than I do about this, or if I'll include links to these articles. I'm going to go pay the $50 to get full access. But I mean, that to me is really interesting, and honestly, kind of worth cracking the code on. Like, why are media owners making so much more than the media spend? What is it that they're selling behind the scenes? And how could it be anything but data? How could it be anything but user data? What else is valuable to the tune of $230 billion? What is it that these companies are selling? I think that's really interesting, and plays into the whole privacy first narrative that we're trying to push actively and proactively, really strongly. So, again, I'd love to know contrarian opinions. Maybe, if I'm misunderstanding, I'm not a statistician. I don't know how to read those things. But that was all really black and white. It was $520 billion spent. There was $750 billion made. Where is the difference coming from? Where could that possibly be coming from? And if it is user data, who's buying it? How are they using it? What are they using it for? How come it's not accessible to us? Is this just all like in trading, the whole Cambridge Analytica thing? Or is there more to it? So anyway, I'd love your thoughts and opinions. I'd be really interested in somebody who has specific insights, like outside of just crazy people shouting into the wind, which is effectively what I am right now. If you've worked for an organization or have specific insights into this in particular, I'd love to hear from you. Shoot a video every day. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. If you've been running Google Ads for 45 seconds or longer, you know that there's a philosophical war being waged on the battlefield that is brand traffic. Do I bid on my brand traffic? Now, I have been on both sides of the spectrum, oftentimes in the same day, because it's hyper dependent to your situation. So on